Molelo papa Ona oniolo Billy Molelo pelure Monifere gan Billy Atik bogwa kokoi.
Vlad sitting down with Corey Holcomb on 5150 was always going to be messy because this wasn't really an interview. And in this case, the two main names were Aries Spears and Godfrey. The Aries situation is the easier one to understand because it has a clear chain of events. Vlad says Aries was allowed to promote his podcast on Vlad TV. But when Vlad asked for a shout out at Aries live shows, Aries didn't do it.
So after the show, he sets up the table and he's selling like t-shirts and people, selling, pictures with people and stuff like that. So me and Ryan Davis start to talk. Me and Ryan, I was the first person to put him on a big platform. His first interview on a big platform was Vlad TV.
Okay.
So we hadn't seen each other in like 6 years. So we're like catching up. He's like, oh shit. He's like, yo man, thank you so much for putting me on back then. And I'm like, yo, you've blown the fuck up since then, congratulations. And he's like, yeah, I saw you in the audience, but I didn't say anything because I didn't know whether you wanted everyone to be there. And Aries is standing like right here while we're talking, and Aries said, oh yeah, Vlad would have loved that. And I'm like, what type of bitch ass comment is that? Like you're reveling in the fact that someone doesn't notice me. And then, so I'm talking to Ryan and people are taking pictures with Aries, but they're asking me to be in the picture. So I'm like, all right, I jump in the picture, I go back talking to Ryan, So this happens and I come to find out, and like I'm feeling uncomfortable back here.
Yeah.
And Aries, when he did the responses, he made a point to say, yeah, Vlad asked me for a shout out, and I purposely didn't give it to him because this is my stage. But when we do Vlad TV, that's our stage. But this show is my stage, and I purposely didn't give it to him because I know that he wanted it to be about him or whatever. And the thing that Aries, I don't think, realizes is this, right? When he does his show, his comedy show, he's absolutely right. That is his stage. But when he does Vlad TV, that is not our stage. That's my stage. He's coming to my studio. I ask the questions, and most importantly, I have final cut in terms of what comes out. And the last maybe 25 times that Aries has been on my show, at the end he said, hey Vlad, can I shout out my podcast? Can I shout out my podcast? And every time I say yes. That's called professional courtesy. When you fuck with people, you give them little things like that because you fuck with them.
And we're trying to promote our shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Corey's issue with Aries goes deeper than Vlad's. Corey paints Aries as insecure, rude, and unaware of how he comes across. He even brought up the old 5150 altercation with Zoe Williams, saying Aries basically dared somebody to put hands on him that day. That matters because it adds a pattern to the conversation.
Is it true? Like, I was talking to someone, I don't want to say who, but he told me that when Aries performs, he contractually requires no black comedians for him.
He said
Not just the opener, but the actual...
Aries has said this, I don't want anybody black going up on the show with me.
That's lame.
But you know this is all insecurity and lack of talent. I mean, because Aries is great at doing impersonations. But after a while, it plays out. You know what I'm saying? On stage, after the cow says, after a while, that shit turns whack. You know what I'm saying?
I think he's good on stage. I'm not going to say...
You talking about Aries?
Yeah, I've seen
him
him
that's your opinion.
Twice.
I get it.
In my opinion, I saw him perform twice. I thought he was good.
Yeah,
because he has something out now where he's saying he doesn't perform in the South because of their lack of knowledge. Just say
He
that.
said that on my show multiple times.
Yeah, it's like, Aries, you're limited as a comedian, brother. You can't. I just came back from Detroit, and I'm telling you, that room I did in Detroit, not a lot of comedians can have a successful night in that room because it's the motherfucking streets. Yeah, there's a club that they go to next door, and it's the sugar daddies tricking with the young bitches. You get what I'm saying? So they're in the crowd. You can't really do comedy like that because they're anxious to buy pussy.
Right.
It's just like that. So I'm saying, it's like Aries can only work rooms that are set up for a comic to win, if you know what I mean. And in the South, hey, let's just talk about the South. In the South, you really can't come with that city boy shit perpetrating nothing. You gotta be able to relate to the people. And that's what it's really all about.
Corey's argument is that Aries keeps getting into situations where his mouth takes him somewhere his instincts later regret. That doesn't mean Aries is scared in the simple playground sense. Aries has been in enough conflict over the years to prove he's not new to confrontation. But there's a difference between arguing in the moment and walking into Vlad's platform, knowing every clip, title, edit, and follow-up will be controlled by Vlad. That may be the real reason Aries backed out. He probably looked at the situation and realized he wasn't walking into a neutral debate. He was walking into Vlad's house.
I'm accepting your offer to debate this in person. Let's see if you're man enough to actually do it. To which I said, I'll let you know within 48 hours. Is that okay? Or will that piss you off too? He says 48 hours is fine. Then I guess the 48-hour mark was this Friday. And he goes, 48 hours are up. What are you doing? I love this cop shit. That's why I call you an FBI agent or whatever they call you. Like this authority that you think you have. So you know what I said? Nah, I'm good. To which he responded, not surprised. Now,
You guys are too old.
exactly my point. First of all, I don't think he would have had the guts to call me a in my face. Because again, you're a coward. But I thought about it, and to all the people that go, oh, you ain't doing it because you scared or he smoked you. Nah, I'm not going to let the oxygen feed the fire. It's like, I don't need Vlad. I don't. And even though I might not have got Boozy's numbers or whoever, again, there still were eyeballs that would watch because of me. And I'm also going, if you go back on, what is this going to accomplish? What? And people were like, dude, if you go back on, and it was a mixed bag of nuts. People going, and again, the immature, go back on and smoke that nigga. You need to smoke that. And then there were people going, if you go back on, that's a bad look, dog. You don't need it. Don't do it. For what? And if you do go back on, have your people bring their cameras so that nothing is manipulated, up, edited, misconstrued. Have you bring a camera crew with his camera crew so we can get the truth. Or have him go on your pocket. I don't got time for this.
And after the 6ix9ine interview, after Vlad discussing him publicly, after all the name calling, Aries may have felt like he was about to be ambushed. The problem is he realized it too late. If you think the setup is unfair, don't challenge the man to begin with. Once you do and he accepts, backing away makes you look exactly how Vlad wants you to look. That's why Vlad can keep calling him a coward. It's harsh and it may be too much, but Vlad has the cleaner headline. The Godfrey situation is different because it sounds more emotional.
Well, anyway, listen, what happened with Godfrey where he stopped coming on your show?
I mean, that was the whole Farrakhan fallout.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was just.
So he used that.
Yeah, he used that, and I think it's unfortunate because I feel that me and him were always good, right? Me and him were like friends. You know, we would party out, you know, in LA. We had meals together and stuff like that. And honestly, Godfrey, I think, was the first comedian that sort of figured out the algorithm with Vlad TV because he would come more often than anyone because he saw a jump in his bookings. Right?
Well, he was accessible also.
He would always, and he was in New York, so he was like boom, boom, boom. He would go one after another. And a lot of those clips went viral, you know, like the I Know Black, you know, the whole Dominican thing. So me and him were real cool. And when the Farrakhan thing happened and I took my stance, he really went extra hard and was like, Vlad's a culture vulture. He needs to be canceled. And
But he felt that way anyway. You get what I mean when I say that? I'm not trying to be fake and pile it on. Godfrey is the greatest fake smile in the history of the United States of America. I do not get mad at nobody who don't figure him out. He's actually great at that fake smile shit.
Yeah. well, here's
and
what
he's
happened.
actually kind of knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So it works every time on the average mind. Godfrey is the greatest fake motherfucker I ever seen in my life.
He's great at it.
And that's not to be like, fuck you, Godfrey, because, yo, Me and Godfrey was on the same flight when I went to Detroit.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see him.
Last week?
Now, this is some pussy shit I'm saying, but I gotta say it because it's funny to me. I didn't see Godfrey because I was sitting in the front of the plane.
Oh, he didn't coach? He didn't coach?
Maybe you should go back to Vlad. But no, I'm just, that's real shit though.
Lucky
But
to hit you with a dart, nigga.
if I would have saw Godfrey, you know, it's the first thing I would have said to Godfrey. Godfrey, you just can't control your frustration towards me. And I can't smile and be phony with you no more. Because you always act like you don't know. Like he has people talking about me and he'll act like, what? It's what?
Everyone in this story is arguing over respect. Vlad wants respect for the platform he built. Corey wants respect as someone who sees through fake comedy relationships. Aries wants respect as a veteran comic who doesn't want to be treated like a guest who should be grateful for exposure. Godfrey wants respect as someone who feels Vlad crossed cultural lines during the Farrakhan situation. The problem is that none of these men seem willing to give the other side the respect they are demanding.